time to get your fix. Come on down, get your horrible gaming review. 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 Wow.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and this is another horrible game review. Sorry, feeling a little bit under the weather today, so please excuse my lack of excitement, but I wanted to get something up for the day. So, today's horrible review is a little bit special. I am kind of going back to something that I didn't think I'd be going back to so soon. But, you know, before we get into it, couple of disclaimers. Number one, the word horrible in the title of this review does not necessarily refer to the content or the game that I am reviewing, but much more the actual video itself. I do snap judgment reviews here. I get 5 to 10 hours usually tops to play a game, and I'm just trying to give you a quick impression of what the game is and whether you're not going to have fun right off the bat or not. Because of that, and the fact that I think video games is one of the most subjective forms of art, I do not give scores to my reviews. Instead, I'm going to tell you the overview, the pros and the cons, and my point of view, as all reviews are, and then whether I personally will be sticking with it outside the purposes of this review or not. So today, I'm reviewing the kind of surprise DLC drop for Mario Golf Super Rush. This kind of came out of nowhere. August 5th in the morning, Nintendo put out a tweet basically saying they were adding a bunch of stuff to Super Mario Golf that day. They didn't add it that day. They didn't add it until 10 p.m., at least in my time, which was a little annoying, but still, they added it that day, and then bam, we got to play it. And normally, if it was a small content update, I wouldn't do a re-review. You know, I do big DLCs here quite often, but this one was kind of huge, especially for its price. So let's go over. So right off the bat, I'm not going to be re-reviewing Mario Golf Super Rush. I already reviewed that. You can check that out on the channel. What I'm going to be doing is reviewing specifically the DLC that came out on August 5th and what that does to the game's experience overall. So let's go over what was in this free update. And there was a lot. Number one, a full 18-hole course was added. That's New Donk City. You guys will remember New Donk City from Mario Odyssey. Basically the kind of like cityscape, New York-esque type place that Mario jumped around in Odyssey. They made it into a golf course, which has some really interesting properties to it, which we're going to get into. They also added a brand new character. Toadette is now playable. Her own special shot, her own dash animations, the whole 9 yards. And then they also added the all-too-important ranked mode. They also updated the motion controls. However, I did not get a chance to actually test those, so we will not be reviewing that today. I can just assume that they're a little bit better. So let's go over each little thing. Number one, New Donk City. I think that was the one that everybody was most excited for, even though it's not what they should have been most excited for. And don't get me wrong, this is a great course, just the other features way better. New Donk City is one of the more interesting courses because unlike all the other courses, this is the most conceptual in nature, whereas the other courses have some crazy stuff on them, don't get me wrong, like fire and all sorts of other sand traps and beasts. It still plays kind of like a regular golf course with just a couple of out-of-the-ordinary obstacles. New Donk City is its own complete thing. Basically, every piece of scenery in the world is concrete and counts as rock, basically. So the ball just kind of like bounces on it really high, all over the place. There are little patches of fairway, but very small and in between. And there is the green itself. But the green is interesting too, because the green almost is like a miniature golf green. There's a slab of green there, and then there's this kind of black rubber fringe around the green that's very easy to roll off that you can't putt up. Makes the course very intriguing, and I'm not gonna lie, they have said they're gonna stick with Mario Golf. They're gonna keep adding DLC stuff like this, which already this is kind of awesome in itself that we're getting this only a month after release. We'll talk about that later, but the idea of more conceptualized, more kind of crazy, wacky, outside the box thinking on the courses, I think is what this game will need going forward. You had 6 straight courses that had some craziness to them, but for the most part are a little bit more straightforward. I think you need to get a little bit more crazy with the next few that come out, and right off the bat, they do that with New Donk City. There is a bunch of elevation changes. You play from building top to building top at certain places. Lots of places for penalty stuff. A lot of pinpoint accuracy needed. And what's interesting is once you get on the green, it's all like the putt isn't even really there. The putts are very level in New Donk City because, like I said, it's just kind of like a slab of green. There's very few where it's like hilly. It's more about the drive and how well you drive around building tops or onto certain pinpoint areas, which is just interesting. It has a different feel to it than all the other maps, and I gotta applaud Nintendo for that. Let's talk about the character, Toadette. Toadette's fine. She plays a lot like Toad, but with the kind of straightforward line special that Pauline and Peach and Waluigi have, where instead of a big wide area effect, they just kind of shoot it in a straight line like a laser beam almost. And it's fine. She's cool. A new character is always good. I mean, add more characters. We want to see more characters in this game. And I can't tell you how excited my 5-year-old was because Toadette's one of her all-time favorite characters in Mario. So it was very cool. It was very cool to see that. Now let's talk about ranked mode. Ranked mode is the star of this DLC, the quiet star of this DLC. Basically what ranked mode is you go in, you select either speed mode or ranked mode or stroke play, so you don't have to do one or the other, which is already pretty good. It has it rotates you through all of the courses by like half-hour periods, I want to say. So like every half hour, it switches out the course you're playing, and you play randomly on those courses. 3 of them, 3 holes. So it's quick. It's real easy and quick. You're going to get 1 special off. You got to really decide where you're going to use it. You got to make the most out of those 3 holes. And then, bam, you're on to the next one. You play against 3 other people that the game selects. You can use any sort of club set. That's fine if you ground it out, whatever. And then as you play, you collect rank points. Now, you can collect more rank points by beating players of higher rank than you, or by just winning in general. But no matter what you do, you're collecting points. You get a 3-point participation point award, and then you get points on top of that. Then it tells you your overall world rank, which goes down as you collect points. What's interesting about this is it almost rewards participation more than just straight up winning. Now don't get me wrong, winning is very important in this. It doesn't shy away from that, but it's really going to keep more amateur players invested because they're still gaining stuff by just playing and getting involved and staying with it. The ranks start at C-, and then as you go up, you'll get to S rank plus is the highest rank so far that I've seen. What's really cool, and I hope they keep doing this every month, is that at least for this first month, so I'm hoping this is a constant thing, you get a reward if you hit A-. If you manage to get your rank up to A-, you get a reward. Extra content. The first month's reward was you get different colors for Yoshi. You don't have to just play the green. You can play red, yellow, or purple. They added all those Yoshis to the game. I'm not a Yoshi player, but I just love the idea of there is a reward at the end of the rainbow or whatever. I think that's very cool. You also are ranked individually between stroke play and speed play. So if you're just a stroke player like myself, you don't have to worry about ever playing speed mode, which is really cool. Really cool. So let's hit the pros and cons. Alright? Pros, first of all, DLC, it's free, and it's a month after launch, and it's nothing to shake a fist at. Full new course, full new character, full new mode. You can't beat that. You can't beat that kind of quick turnaround on content. And while I think a lot of this stuff was supposed to be in the original game and just didn't make it there because they were trying to make it out, like I've already said in my original review, I think this game got a little bit rushed because of the pandemic. This is the first Nintendo game I felt that way because of the way the story mode kind of ended and kind of just spiraled off into this weird boss rush thing. So I kind of think a lot of this stuff was already in the works, and they were just like, hey, just don't add that to the game. We'll add that in if you at least see it. So I wouldn't expect DLC this fast going forward. Nonetheless, We are a month out from the release of the game, and we're getting new DLC. You just can't beat that. That's awesome. My next big pro is the ranked mode. Look, everybody, not just me, but everybody out there said that the biggest problem with this game was a lack of motivation to play it after you got through the story mode. And they're right. I mean, as much as I still found myself playing it every so often because I just enjoyed the core experience so much, there wasn't really a reason to. There was no rank mode, there was no thing to grind out. There was just, you could play online with some people, you could play it in a party with people, or you could play time attack. And that's just not worth it. I mean, you could grind out the higher level club sets, but really, other than that, what is the reward? This is the reward, and this is awesome. Not only that, it's fast, it's super fast. You can play, like, playing a match of ranked mode took me, like, you'll see it in the video, because I have to loop this video over and over again. It took me about 3 minutes on the rookie course. That's amazing. That's amazingly fast that you can get in, play a ranked mode, 3 minutes, get out. That's great. It is perfect for killing time, but at the same time, you can easily just get back in and keep going. I love this ranked mode. It is absolutely the best part of this game now, and it really elevates it. I would have said, if I were to give scored reviews, okay, I probably would have said this was between a 6 and a 7. I don't give scored reviews, but if I had to, this definitely elevates it to an 8 or a 9, without a doubt. There's just so much reason to play now, and that's what this game needed. So, ranked mode, without a doubt, beautiful. My last pro would be the creativity of New Donk City. Again, I already talked about that in the main bulk of this, so I'm not going to go over it again, but we need to see more concept stuff going further. I mean, really leverage the fact that this is a cartoon golf game. You can play anywhere. You can play in space if you want. Might as well do that here, make it a lot more fun for people from the lineup. I mean, all of that said, the core gameplay of Mario Golf has been continuing to bring me back, even though I've finished everything else. I think that core experience is so solid that everything else is fine, whatever. But now they've added even more reason to go back to it, and that's amazing. But I did find a cons. One con. And that is, there is this weird thing they got going on with the rank mode and people dropping out. So, I'm not exactly sure what it is one way or the other. I'm just going to describe to you what has happened to me multiple times, and then, you know, make a couple of extrapolations of what I think it is. But I've been playing a ranked mode. I will be playing against a couple other people. One person obviously stops moving, stops hitting, stops doing anything. It's obvious that they probably dropped out. All of a sudden we'll get a message, so-and-so has left the room. Now, one cool thing is if you leave the room for any reason, you get a dropout penalty. You can't go back into rank mode right away, which is nice. It stops that rage quitting crap. However, instead of that person... Okay, so I don't know if instead of, because I'm not sure. But what would happen when this happened is then all of a sudden, that little dude, whoever he was, would start hitting the ball relatively well. So, one of two things is happening. It's giving us false messages that so-and-so has dropped out of the game, which, okay, it shouldn't be doing that. That's the con. Or, more likely, the person drops out, and then the game immediately replaces them with a higher level AI. That's bullshit, okay? Because I should not be being beaten by somebody who is not even in the room. Whether or not they're getting points for it, my points should be higher if some dude just drops out. Their stroke count should go up to 12 or whatever, and that should be that. So, that's a little bit of a con for me. I don't like the fact that this AI then can take somebody's score who is at -2 and just keep it at a -2, and I can't, like, that person shouldn't be scoring anymore. I should have at least beaten the person who forfeit, and it should count it that way, which, from everything that I see, it doesn't. And that's the one. It's a little bit of hiccup, a little bit of nitpicky, but I noticed it. I gotta point it out. Whether or not I'm gonna stick with this, God yes, I have been loving this. You can see in the video that I've got, I'm already S rank minus, maybe even S rank. I think just S rank minus, but I love it. I absolutely love the rank mode play. I think it's really fun. It's really interesting. It keeps it going. It also takes away all the like setup of a room crap that you have to go through if you're doing it casually. It just puts you somewhere with 3 other players, go to town, see who's the best, and then score points off of it. What's even better is it never gives me that feeling of wasted time that a lot of other rank modes give, because a lot of other rank modes you lose, you don't get anything for it, or your rank drops. With this, you're always gaining points just for being there, so at the very least, I'm not wasting my time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those participation trophy sort of people. I want there to be a reward for winning, and there is, but I also, in video games, don't ever want to feel like I spent an amount of time playing it that's just useless and wasted. And you never feel that way in this. No matter how bad you do, you still feel like your presence was respected by the game, and that's awesome. So I'm definitely going to stick with this. I love Mario Golf Super Rush. I think it's one of Nintendo's best. It's easily going to be on my top 4 for Game of the Year when the time gets, especially because of this. So, that being said, I hope that helps you guys out. And of course, you guys can contact us on Facebook at OldManGamingTH, on Twitter at OldManGaming9. You can join our Discord. The link's in the description below. You can influence this and all of our shows from there. As usual, as long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. See you guys next time.